back again for another episode of Weekend Beat Time. And I have something very special for you guys, man. I got something for you guys to take with you. Something very important while you're out there sampling, guys. So, without further ado, this is Weekend Beat Time. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another episode of Weekend Beat Time. Really dodgy looking tutorial videos, man, but the content is A1 in my opinion, and I'm pretty biased. So what we're gonna do this week is I'm gonna focus on sampling. All right, not how to sample, but how to train this. All right, I want to try to give you guys a shortcut into training your ears to listen out for the right sample. Now guys, there's 1,000,001 ways of being able to sample, all right? It's incalculable. But what matters is that I'm gonna show you guys just a couple of the tricks, man. A couple of the of ways for you guys to really tune your ears to the right sample. You could be a beginner, you could be advanced, I don't know, man. So that's what we're gonna look at today, all right, guys? So let me start breaking it down to you. And we're gonna do a practical exercise. I'm just gonna get a random record. I'm gonna show you guys how to listen out for these different bits and pieces, which I'll explain in just a sec. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the MPC and I'll run through this beat that I'm playing right now, because I think it's a good illustration of how you could use your ears to pick out the right samples to create a holistic beat, a beat that is full and a beat that has a different range and different dynamics coming in and out, man, so you guys can really perform on your tracks, all right? So let's just do that. Let's get into that first part, all right? Let's break it down. Okay, guys, so what I have here is basically a cheat sheet. And what it is, they're the points that I go through, what I'm listening out for when I'm hearing a song. And I base my decision on whether I want to sample it or not based on whether it's going to give me one of these things. All right. And the good thing about going through and training your ears to listen out for different parts of a sample, different things you can use it for in different tracks that you're making, is that you can get a holistic view of the whole record. You're not listening out just for the samples that are obvious. What you're doing is you're getting an impression of the record itself, and you're saying, you know what, this record, I'd be able to take out of it, 10 tracks, 15 tracks. I've got some records that I've literally sampled every single track on that record because it was a fantastic buy, all right? That's going to really inform you whether it's worth spending the money on that record, okay? So let's go through this. All right, so let's go through this list. I'm going to go through this list, then we're going to play a record, and we're going to analyze which one of these it fits into, and whether the record is good or whether it's bad. All right? So, number 1, bass. Not every record's going to give you great bass, but there are plenty out there, songs that when you're listening to them, the keys may not make sense, they may have too much vocals on it, you may not like it, but listen out for the bass, because it may have a really good bass line, all right? And it might be worth sampling that bass line, because the bass also carries the rhythm, all right? So, bass. The next one we're going to look at, guys, is this. The keys, or the verse. What I mean by that is you're listening out for chords. All right, so the track is playing and there may be some vocals on it, there may be synths on it, there may be a bass coming through, but can you pluck out, can you get out of it a clean set of keys? Because what that's going to do is carry a rhythm for you throughout the track as you're sampling it. All right, so keys. All right, guys, now what we have is the chorus. It's the sample you're going to use for your chorus. This is my way of making beats, right? I'm influenced by golden era 90s hip hop, all right? So they're the style of beats that I'm making this kind of applies to that. You're listening now for a synth. Synth being, for those of you who don't know, or the chorus, what I'm talking about is you're listening out for those real ambient keys. Those that was a shocking example of what a synth is, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for ambient keys that carry on and that are really long and big. They're not like the keys of a piano, right? They're synthesizers. So you can pick up on that because they're really good to high pass, to get rid of all of the mid to low range on your equalizer, to get rid of them all and leave just the high part. You could have that come in, that sample come in, and what it does is it gives you a beautiful chorus. All right, look at the next one. And the last one, guys, because I don't want to overwhelm you with too much stuff, is you're basically listening out for quirky sounds, vocals, interesting sounds and instruments. The percussion, drums, it could be a tambourine that plays something really metallic sounding. It could be something that just captures your ear. Some of the like acid records and acid jazz and that sort of stuff, they use these sorts of samples, right? They use these sorts of instruments, really different sounding instruments. So you may have the record in front of you, right? Let me grab this record. I might be listening to this thing right here, right? And as I'm going through it, I may not get a bass out of it, but it's got a few sections in here that have awesome synths that aren't ruined by heaps of vocals, right? You got some clean synths in here, and you got a couple of interesting sounds, and you're like, okay, you know what? I could use this for a few of my choruses, and it's got a couple of like little bits and pieces that I could add to my drums. So then you ask the man, you go, how much you want for this record? And he says to you, I want $20. The answer is, sorry, see you later. But if he looks at you and he says, listen, I'll give you $3 for it, give me $4 for it, you may think to yourself, all right, $4 in investment on, I reckon I could probably get maybe about 5-6 tracks. Is that going to be worth it? Putting synths on 5 to 6 tracks, Weigh it up like that. But you're using your ears to inform you whether it's worth the buy, whether it's worth sampling. All right. Now let's go to a record. All right, guys, I'm gonna use this record here. All right, this is the Ritchie Family, Arabian Nights. Okay. Now this was a price tag of $10. This is a record that a friend of mine had purchased. So he lent me some records. We don't mind sharing records, man. Everyone's just making beats, no big deal. So what I'm gonna do is let's put it on my crappy record player, and what we'll do is we'll listen to it and we'll go through those steps. Let's see what we find, see if it's worth it. All right. This is just gonna be an exercise for all of us to go through, so that we could, so I could really demonstrate what I mean by training your ears. Let's go to the record player. Let's do it. So I have the record here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this in the background, and as I'm going through this phase of the record, I'm going to point out what I think I'm listening to. All right? So let's just do that. Let's play that. Synth. Hear that? Synth. So for that piece there, what I could do is you could take out all the mids, take out all the lows, and leave that high frequency playing, which would be mainly the synth, and you could stack that on your beats. All right, when the chorus comes in or something like that. Let's move on. Vocals. Where? I think I heard some bass. So a bit of bass there. Alright, this track has been alright. You see, you wouldn't sample this track. Like, it's busy, it's happy. It sounds stupid, right? But it's got a few bits and pieces in there, man, that are actually really good. All right, let's keep going. Trumpets. Vocals. Yeah, vocals. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. Interesting sound. Interesting sound. Sorry, I don't want to play these samples too long, because then YouTube jumps on my back about copyright and all that sort of stuff. I told you what the record is, but yeah, I just don't want to deal with all that sort of stuff, man. So I'm just gonna play a little bit just to give you an impression. This is really good for chorus, even for some extra sort of fills. Yeah. That could be keys, could be a fill as well, could be a key, that one. A little bit too much going on for it to be keys, yeah, because that's going to be the bass sample. Let's keep going. No. Percussion, you could use this in the background. It's a bass in there too. Alright, let's move on. Too busy. No. See? So just on this face of the record, the fills were okay. There was a few scenes, even a bit of bass, but there wasn't anything that was really good to be using as keys. You know what I mean? As your bass sample. Let me look for something. There's really there's no point in really wasting any more of our time on that record. It was just more of the same sort of stuff. A lot of just fills and just synths. Nothing really core to our beat making, right? In my opinion, anyway. All right, let me just go through this beat here. Here is this is what I used as a bass sample. All right, let's have a listen to it. See, so it's just a nice mixture of keys. It's a nice mixture of bass. You know what I mean? So that's what I use for my core, for my core sample. I don't know what it is, but I think man, it sounds really familiar, this sample. I think Q-Tip used this. Anyway, I use that part as well for my beat. And that I use more for my fills, but it's also like a synth, right? You could hear that sound in the background. It's like that flute or something. Alright, so let me run through the beat. That bass sample that I use for keys, this is it. Alright, this is the sequence I put together. Just like keys, it's bass. It's not busy. You can add on top of that. I then used this, which was like that Q-Tip, I think, or like Dilla sort of type track. Alright, but this is how I used it. See, I didn't use it for its sample, right? I only used it for the sound. There's a big difference there, alright? I didn't use it so I could just loop the track. You can use the instruments to actually just add to your beat. I used it more like a synth, right? Nice, we got it on. And that's what I use for my chorus. Really ambient. Let's go down. I'll use that as my chorus, guys. As my chorus. Alright? Guys, so let's run through the beat so you could hear how each part contributes to the overall track. Alright? Drums. And this has bass on it. Right? I'll put a bass on it. You barely hear it. Chorus. That's how they stack up. Alright guys, that's enough. You know what? It's been a pleasure. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I've got some exciting stuff coming up, man. I've got some exciting stuff coming up. I'm gonna try to change it up a little bit. Still doing weekend beat time, of course, but I'm gonna try to hit the markets. I'm gonna try to actually be out there, show you guys how to do some practical stuff out in the public. You know what I mean? And I'll do some giveaways soon and do all that sort of stuff, man. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know my videos are lengthy, but I believe it's because of the quality of content, man. So if you can share my videos, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't seen my videos before, man, just hit that subscribe button. And you know what I mean? Every week I'm gonna come out with some new stuff. So guys, peace. Take care of yourselves, man. Be good to your family. You know what I mean? Guys, stop sniffing crack. Stop doing crack and sniffing coke and doing all that stuff, man. Take care of yourselves. Go to the gym, man. Stop being fat and doing all that sort of stuff, man. Take care of yourselves. Alright, guys. Peace.